When a colony of army ants goes to war against a rainforest crab, it's massed might versus heavy armor. If you're a rainforest bug, few sights are more terrifying than a colony of army ants on the march.
There may be as many as 250,000 ants swarming through the forest. Animals are rushing to get away from them. They're killing anything that they can get.
Every army ant is equipped for war with weapons front and rear. A needle-sharp sting stabs repeatedly, injecting paralyzing toxins. Sharp serrated mandibles cut and crush. Individually, they are formidable fighters. Working together, they're more than a match for much larger prey.
These army ants have a really potent sting. Ant swarms, when they go out, are wiping out the invertebrates and maybe even small vertebrates in an area that is the size as big as 10 bowling lanes within a day. It's amazing.
Flippers and all, wow.
A seething mass swarms over the victim, delivering death by 1,000 cuts. With each battle won, fresh meat is ferried back to the nest.
They've got this huge colony, and a queen who may laying 50,000 ants a day. So going out in foraging swarms, collecting 10 bowling lanes within a day.
Wow.
Prey, which they tear apart and then carry back to feed to these carnivorous larvae. It's amazing.
If the army ants are ferocious foot soldiers, then this creature must be straight from the tank division.
This is a Costa Rican land crab. And although he has to return to the sea to reproduce, he and his relatives can be found as far as 10 miles from the coast and even 1,500 feet above sea level. Now that's what I call a well-traveled species.
It's amazing.
Well-traveled and well-protected. The crab's body and spiked legs are covered by a suit of armor made from chitin fibers, as flexible as human-made plastic, but reinforced with rock-hard mineral crystals.
This is a tough little creature. He's got 8 walking legs with sharp, hardened tips, a heavily armored body that's really difficult to penetrate, and a set of pinchers that can really inflict some damage on a pesky predator. And a set of pinchers really inflict some damage on a pesky predator.
Massive, bulging pincers are a surefire deterrent to would-be predators.
The mouth parts are very adept at cutting, but they're not used as a weapon. That's left to the pinchers and the spiky feet.
When the rainforest crab ventures into enemy territory, hardened killers beat a hasty retreat, not willing to risk a run-in with those
spiky feet.
But what happens when the tank on legs clashes with a rampaging infantry regiment? Next, monster claws versus murderous mandibles. Then, the ancient slime sprayer meets the impaler. And later, ultraviolence in the rainforest.
Sometimes I wonder how the world goes by. I believe I can do special things.
Mom, we're thirsty!
Well, I've got 2 glasses of Sun Fizz coming right up.
Sunfizz, that's our favorite!
That's because there's a delicious ray of sunshine in every drop.
Come on, guys.
Enjoy.
A hungry rainforest crab prowls for food in the leaf litter. Not far away, a ravenous tide of army ants is on the warpath. The army ants attack with savage mandibles and stings full of paralyzing toxin. The rainforest crab relies on heavy-duty armor
A spiky feet.
Who will emerge victorious?
Army ants really don't care how big the prey is. They're basically willing to take anything that they can bring down. And this is because it's amazing amount of hungry mouths to feed back at the colony.
When the ants make contact, the crab's first instinct is to cut and run.
Seeing a swarm of army ants approach must be a terrifying sight. He'd be feeling like he's surrounded by a horde of serial killers armed with machetes and dart guns.
The crab's getaway isn't quick enough. More warriors enter the combat, biting the crab's exposed eyes, looking for a way past the armor to the sweet flesh beneath.
Once these army ants have breached the shell, they're able to open this crab up and get the meat out.
Overturned and overrun, the crab claws at its attackers. But against such small enemies, those huge pincers are clumsy and ineffective. The army ants concentrate on joints in the crab's shell. The tiny gaps between armor plates are wide enough for probing stings and cutting mandibles.
This isn't just a bunch of itches that can be scratched. It's bite after bite, sting after sting, just hammering away and draining the crab's life force.
Toxins flood the crab's body, shutting it down. As the crab takes its last breaths, the ants start to dismantle their fallen foe.
When you're attacked by an army as fierce as this, there's no such thing as impenetrable armor. They just keep attacking until there's nothing left to do but just give up and die.
In the callous bug world, it's always an eye for an eye. To the victor go the spoils, and the vanquished becomes a shell of its former self.